This is the true story of a small radio station on the Philippine coast. A place where friendly voices and midnight music once brought comfort to listeners. Until one night, the broadcasts changed. Chilling whispers echoed through the airwaves, equipment moved by unseen hands, and a silent figure appeared on camera. This is the haunting that turned a local station into a legend. And it still haunts the town of Iba today. Our story begins in the mid-1990s in the small Philippine coastal town of Iba, Zambales, which sits along the west coast of the main island of Luzon. In this sleepy fishing community, a small local radio station known as DWIB provided the primary source of nightly entertainment and information for locals. During the day, they played upbeat pop music mixed with local ads and announcements. But when the sun went down and the fishermen headed out to sea, the programming changed. The station, known simply as Iba, became a source of companionship for those alone in the darkness, providing soothing music and chatter to anyone within range. For many, listening to Iba was a habit formed in childhood. Many residents fondly recalled how they'd stay up late, hiding under their blankets and listening intently to the radio, turning the volume up whenever their parents left the room. It was an innocent pastime, and for most, an integral part of growing up in Iba. For the station's employees, most of whom were young and worked alone after dark, it was a job like any other. Sure, it could get lonely. After all, why else would they have started bringing in pet dogs to keep company? But overall, the DJs took pride in their role, taking requests and keeping the people of Iba entertained as they worked. However, for Iba staff, this all changed one night when the DJ heard it, a scratching sound. He looked at the console and saw that the channel was changing on its own. Startled, he reached for the switch, trying to stop it from moving. However, whatever was causing the interference quickly overpowered him, flipping the switch to an unused frequency. To make matters worse, the power was still on. He reached for the emergency power button, desperate to shut it off, but it wouldn't budge. Suddenly, the scratching stopped, and a chill ran down his spine. Was someone messing with him? The DJ wasn't sure. He knew that for many years, the station had struggled to maintain profitability, leading to rumors of financial mismanagement among the staff. So he switched back to the main channel and resumed broadcasting, relieved that nothing else happened. But this incident proved to be the first of many. In the weeks that followed, strange things began happening regularly. The DJ noticed that whenever the clock struck midnight, the console would flicker ominously. Concerned, he checked the power supply and everything seemed fine. Furthermore, none of the other stations in the area experienced these issues. It was as if Iba was having electrical problems all on its own. As the strange occurrences continued, the DJ became more attentive, listening closely for any unusual sounds. One night, he thought he heard footsteps approaching the microphone and immediately picked up the phone to call maintenance. But before he could speak, the lights flickered again and a voice whispered right into his ear. Though he couldn't see anything, the voice sounded close, like it was coming from the other side of the microphone. Though he wanted to dismiss it as a trick, the hair on the back of his neck stood up. How could someone have gotten so close without him noticing? Frightened, he ended the call, hoping whoever was there would leave soon. But then the scratching sound returned, sending chills down his spine. He watched in horror as the console began changing channels on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. Panicked, he attempted to stabilize it, but it was too late. The entire room plunged into darkness. The last thing he remembered was the sound of the emergency power button clicking. Then everything went black. When the morning light finally crept in, the DJ rushed to the station. What he saw made his blood run cold. Someone had rewound the cassette tape he'd been playing the night before. It was almost as if someone had pressed rewind and fast forward simultaneously. But that wasn't the most alarming discovery. The entire control panel was covered in scratches, as if someone had used it to sharpen their nails. Shaking with fear, he contacted the station manager, recounting the previous night's events. Together, they reviewed the security footage, which showed a shadowy figure resembling a woman walking into the booth. The unsettling sight sent shivers down the DJ's spine. Whatever this being was, it had appeared and vanished without leaving a trace. As days turned into weeks, the activity only intensified. On one fateful night, a DJ was abruptly cut off mid-sentence. Listeners reported hearing soft singing emanating from the radio. Others described a faint crying that pierced through the usual nighttime programming. Yet despite the theories, no one could account for the ghostly presence that seemed to inhabit the station. As the eerie happenings continued, Iba decided to make changes. New locks were installed and modern equipment was brought in, hoping it might help. But whatever was haunting the station didn't seem to mind the upgrades. It persisted, its icy touch lingering over the new gear. To solve the mystery, a local paranormal team visited the station. Using electromagnetic field meters, they discovered a significant cold spot in the recording booth. And when they turned on the recorder, they caught a faint whisper of a woman singing an unknown lullaby. While some dismissed the recordings as background noise, others argued it was evidence of a troubled spirit seeking solace in the station. Throughout all this, however, the station managers were concerned about the impact on their business. They feared that if the media caught wind of the paranormal activity, sponsors might pull out, dealing a death blow to the struggling station. Thus, they discouraged employees from speaking to the press, preferring to keep the haunting a secret. As the years passed, Iba continued to broadcast its mix of music, news, and local ads. But the hauntings remained, occurring every night at precisely 12:01 a.m., reminding everyone of the station's ghostly resident. Eventually, the overnight shows were canceled. Veteran DJs still recall the unsettling events of those nights, their voices hushed with respect, or perhaps fear. They tell tales of the shadowy figure seen in the old security footage, a specter that has never been identified. Some say the spirit was appeased when the station played the song the woman had recorded all those years ago. But that's just a rumor. The truth is, Iba still stands, broadcasting its hopeful tunes and jingles, a testament to the resilience of both the station and its staff. If you ask them, they'll tell you the ghost is real, her mournful hum just below the music. Just listen closely when the clock strikes 12:01 a.m. And that concludes our story. Until then, remember, some doors are best left unopened, some secrets are best left buried, and some nights are best spent with the lights on.